Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be reading a Scaramouche Listener by me. So let's get into it. Scaramouche wasn't really sure how this was going to go. After all, their relationship had just become official, and it made him a little bit nervous because things were a little bit shaky between the two of you. After all, he had zero experience whatsoever. Not to mention, everything seemed to make him want to explode. And not in the anger way, but rather the embarrassed kind of way. He had discovered late in a relationship, and by late he means 1 week after dating, that you tease a lot. And it's honestly a little bit too much for him. And he's someone who gets overwhelmed so easily because he's so unused to this. And it's a little bit startling. All that attention and affection all at once. So his reactions can be kind of wild. The first time I tried to tease him was when he was sitting on the couch right next to you, and you decided to scoot closer to him, wrapping your arms around his neck and kissing him softly. You know, I miss you a lot, but you don't seem to want to kiss me as much. Did I do something wrong? You ask, ever so innocently, all while looking into his eyes. And though that might not be exactly teasing, but he was so startled that he felt like you had knocked the breath right out of him. Hmm, he said, so eloquently, but could you truly blame him? He felt like he was out of words, like there were no words he could use to describe the feelings in his heart, or just how surprised he was by some of the actions he did. But then, you wrapped your arms around him tighter, pulling them closer to you, and they started cuddling. And that was how it was most of the time. You throwing hints, Scaramouche trying to get them, and you would just cuddle him close, deciding that maybe some things had to wait. But it was frustrating for him. He wanted to understand what was going on. He wanted to know how to be good for you. And that frustration of not being able to understand, of not being enough, it was beyond humiliating for him. So that's why he wanted to try. He wanted to try to make you happy and to be good enough for you, to understand what you need in a way that most people, most humans, those people with hearts, would do. So that's why he was trying to set up a lovely date for you at your home. Candles, sweets, dinner. He had made it all just for you. And when you came back to him that day, you were so startled by what he had done. And you couldn't help but tear up, happy as you went over to a table. Look at how hard he worked. He cleaned everything, and he put so much effort into decorating it that it was almost just so much, and so adorably sweet, and so loving, in levels that you have never seen from him. And he came up behind you, putting his hands on your waist, and burying his face into your shoulder. I made this for you. I'm sorry, Wayan. I know I haven't been a good boyfriend to you, but I hope it shows that I'm trying, and that I love you more than anything else in the world, he said. And when he turned around, you kissed him so softly and so sweetly. Oh, Skira, I don't think you know how precious you are to me, too. I mean, this is amazing. I can see how much you love me. I've always seen it. So there's no reason to worry so much. Truly, Scaring was then thinks that was the end of it. That you had done everything perfectly, and this was the rest of your date night and how it was going to go. Cuddles and sweet kisses, and everything in between. He didn't know there would be more. So when you decided to cuddle on the couch, having eaten dinner and everything, he didn't know that there would be a surprise coming from you this time. But there was. Because then, you decided that you had to get on his lap, and that alone was a little bit startling, because it made him blush, staring at you innocently in shock. Little did he know that innocence was not going to be the best descriptor for tonight. Because then, you wrapped your arms around him, kissing him, and deepening it. And that was just the start of everything just getting steamier in the room. Perhaps even your bodies, as they felt hot from the excitement and the tension that was going on. And soon enough, 20 minutes into a makeup session, Scaramouche had looked at you with the brightest blush I've ever seen. Leon, isn't this a bit too much? He asked, and you shook your head. You know, I've always wanted to try this. Try what? What are you talking about? And that's when I decided to try and call him Daddy for the first time, telling him that you can make him feel even better than this. But then he just tilted his head, looking at you in pure confusion. What do you mean, Leon? Are you seeing some things I'm not? I'm not your father. That's exactly when you found out that you should have backtracked. They shouldn't have gotten here and done that. But it was too late now, and you were forced to explain to him the context behind it, because he literally had no clue what you meant by that. He just thought that you were imagining your father, which was honestly weird to him. But once you explained the context, he blushed brightly, mirroring his face into your neck, and telling you that absolutely not. You just cannot call him that. Oh, Skira, but you're daddy material, you know. No, I'm not. Enough of that, he said, trying his absolute best to get himself under control and to stop blushing so brightly. This was just embarrassing to him, and you were teasing him so ruthlessly too. He was never going to get to the end of this. But if there's anything he knew, that no matter how many differences there were between the two of you, or how many misunderstandings and gaps in the knowledge, you would always meet somewhere in between, due to your love and your shared effort of keeping this relationship going. Scaramouche may be nervous, and you may be so adventurous and excited. And perhaps your conflicting emotions will help balance things out as you try to guide Scaramouche on his journey to find true love.